After 3 straight league match losses and 4 straight matches without scoring a single goal, Kahawa Pride had hit rock bottom. Fans were in shock, player morale had hit an all-time low, and through just 10 of our 34 scheduled league matches, we found ourselves in a situation that no one could have predicted. Turn things around or lose everything that we had worked so hard to achieve. After a 3-0 loss to the league's top club last week, we were faced with another big test. A matchup against the league's second-place club, Fortune Kinderen FC, with a record of 7 wins, 2 draws, and 3 losses. And while they did have an impressive record, we were coming into the match with a weapon of our own, a piece that had been sorely missed over the last 3 losses. Benson Govid, aka General Govid, one of the most feared defenders in the entire league, was healthy again and back in the starting lineup, ready to make an impact in his first game back. Meanwhile, we organized a scouting trip to one of the largest refugee camps in all of Africa, built an entire driveway outside of our clubhouse, and made a key investment into the mental health of our club that we believe could be the key to turn this ship around. You are now watching Road to the Kenyan Premier League. What's up, everyone? My name is Hayes Canup, JerseyBird founder and your host of Road to the Kenyan Premier League. Before we get into it, if you want to support this project, there are 3 main ways to do so. First is the KPFC 10 for 10 deal. If your club is in need of new kits and apparel, start a project with JerseyBird. Tell us you came from this Road to the KPL series, and you will receive 10% off your order with another 10% donated directly to our club. Just go to jerseybird.com, tap start a project, and we will create some awesome kits for your club, just like the ones you see in our videos. Next, we have the Lions Den, the official club Discord, where we host watch-along parties, vote on club decisions, and discuss unreleased news with myself and team staff members. Go check it out. It really is a great place to be. And lastly, if you just want a simple way to donate, go to kahawapridefc.paperform.co. You can contribute to various aspects of the club, including our women's team, the Lionesses, as they've begun their own journey to the Women's Premier League. All partnership inquiries can be directed to Kahawa Pride FC at jerseybird.com, and don't forget to subscribe to the official Kahawa Pride YouTube channel. I will link all of these things in the description below. Thank you for the support. Now back to the video. So let's get into our main storyline for this week, our league match against second place Fortune Kinderen FC. We were back home for this matchup. Again, we broke attendance records with an estimated 350 fans in attendance at Mahiga Primary for kickoff. The atmosphere was absolutely electric as warm-ups were underway. As kickoff approached, the energy seemed to shift as one of the most feared defenders in all of Kenyan grassroots football began suiting up for the first time in over a month. Benson Govid, aka General Govid, has not only been a key piece of our defensive core, he's made it nearly impossible for our opponents to score. With Govid in the starting 11 lineup, we have 4 wins, 1 draw, with 0 goals conceded. But with Govid out with injury, we have 0 wins, 0 draws, 3 losses, and 6 goals conceded. Statistically, it is a night and day difference, but he's jumping right back into a matchup against a top team, his most difficult assignment yet. Getting into the starting 11, this is what Kim put out for our last match against Mentors FC, and there were several changes. First, we shifted back into our usual 4-2-3-1 formation. Karani was back in net to start, and along the back line, we had Kiari, Otieno, Govid, and Etyang. In the defensive midfield, we had Ngete and Okech at center mid. Oching got the start, sided by Kamau on the right wing and Buire on the left, with Dugu starting at striker. A more traditional lineup for sure, and we were ready to go. Tensions were clearly high right before kickoff as we came out of our pregame huddle. Fortune had set up shop on the right side of the field, usually our starting side, which we immediately shut down, forcing them to defend the other side of the pitch instead. Just some mind games to start things off. Due to heavy rains in previous days, one of our defensive corners was an absolute mud pit hit, an obstacle that right wingers would have to be dealing with all day. The match started off with a bang. Less than a minute in, Austin Ochieng collided with number 3 for a thundering hit. Luckily, both were able to get up pretty quickly and play resumed. The first 5 minutes were pretty defensive from both sides. As Fortune generated attacks, you can already see the Govid Otieno wall begin to make its impact, evaporating offense with a dominant aerial presence. They do manage to get an outside shot off, but it sails wide and the match goes on. Moments later, we see an intensity level that is reminiscent of our dominant 3-0 win against Pac University. Buire sprinting full speed to press a Fortune defender. He gets called for the foul, but it does set a tone for the rest of the first half. Fortune are doing the same on the other end of the pitch. If you watched the stream, you'll remember there were several dangerous moments in our own defensive end. Luckily, we escaped this one after a weak shot and the score remains 0-0. Then, in the 10th minute, we get our first true chance.
Gideon Atiang floats that into the area, and it is cleared for a throw-in.
Yeah, and Kahawa Pride really showing early signs of trying to end their goal drought.
And Felix Kamau wins a free kick just outside the area.
Hold on. Rewind that clip. We just witnessed a tree, we'll call him Big Branch, generate our first chance of the match, catching and distributing a cleared ball faster than Fortune could even react, forcing a rushed foul as they scrambled to recover.
But it's all about Kahawa Pride versus Fortune Kinderen. Austin floats that into the area. Cleared off the line. Still danger looming there. And it just goes wide.
After a Chiari header back into the box, Kamau nearly scores, but the ball rolls just wide. In the 13th minute, we see more of that intensity. This time, it's Dugu screaming down the right sideline, forcing another defensive clearance, and again, Big Branch keeps this ball in play, but our attack stalls and we remain scoreless. Moments later, the Moses show is back on as Moses Buire chases down a headed ball from Fortune's defenseman. He's taken down hard, and we get another dangerous free kick opportunity, also unlocking a new camera angle in the process.
Goven are definitely looking to feast on this one.
Austin brings that into the area, cleared out again.
The cross is quickly cleared, and a few moments later, Fortune get another decent shot off, still not quite on frame, but it does lead to their first corner kick of the match, which goes absolutely nowhere as Okech immediately blows up the entire play they tried to set up. In the 17th minute, we see our best run of the match so far. It's Austin Ochieng taking it down the sideline, reminiscent of his famous left wing run in the final moments of our Soweto Bromley win. He cannot connect with Dugu or Kamau, but we do get our first corner kick out of it.
You can take on someone without many, and it's floated into the area again.
Okech gets a header on it from a tough angle, but nothing comes of it. 2 minutes later, again, we see Buire's hard press, creating chaos and turnovers from Fortune, and in the 22nd minute, we get our next chance off an advantage play. Kamau picks up the loose ball and sends a cross into the box. Moses does get a head on it, but he sends it over the bar, and he was offsides anyways. Play continues. We continue to control the pace of the match, and in the 28th minute, we see our second non-player highlight of the match as ball boy Steven Ndungu gets a new ball to Okech before he even reaches the sideline, which actually leads to another rushed foul, setting up another set piece for us, and ultimately we do get a shot on goal. Steven was the U15 MVP in our academy last year and is also Karani's cousin, and we checked in with him to get his recap of the sideline assist.
Hiyo first half nilikuwa concentrated, nilikuwa na team yetu iscore at least to win, na tupande juu moto yetu ni road to KPL. So hiyo first half nilikuwa concentrated, any ball ilikuwa inatoka karibu na mimi, nilikuwa naambisha grow haraka hivyo tu.
Later on, we see Govid's elite level distribution back on display as he connects cleanly with Ochieng on the wing, and in the 31st minute, the Moses show is back as Buire evades two incoming opponents and gets the ball up the right wing. Honestly, I have no idea how he's making plays all the way over there as our left winger. His heat map is looking like this before the first half is even over, but he's having an awesome match so far. In the 33rd minute, Fortune gets a dangerous chance inside the box, but Eyang is there to force a tough off-target shot, and we remain remain scoreless. As the first half begins to wind down, we see a hard foul on Ngete. He falls directly on his back from a high height and is clearly shaken up after the play, and the ref gives us a free kick. The final 6 minutes of the first half are fairly uneventful. We have the ref showing some evasive skills here off of this Chiari pass, a tuk-tuk and motorbike nearly colliding with players in the right corner of the pitch, and that was all as we headed into halftime tied at 0.
They are very ready to dribble, but nyinyi mnawakosa wakimbia. Whereas number 9 wetu ndo anafaa kukimbia. Hizo ball zenye anapata za kufight sana. Akule. Naona akikula defense itabidi imeswing.
The second half kicked off. Now we were attacking into the mud pit side of the pitch, and the need for a goal was reaching critical levels. Aside from our cup match penalty goal, it had now been 5 halves of football since our last goal, 417 minutes without a goal to be exact. Our last goal was George Uma's game winner on January 25th, 2 whole months ago. Fortune got off to a hot start in the second half, generating a solid chance off of this lofted through ball, but in an instant, we flipped the field and we get our first chance of the half.
Some good news, but even if they are cluttered here by Kahawa Pride, they definitely, again, the gap is not too big for them. So I think they might go for the latter.
And sensing that Kahawa Pride will be going in hard this second half, Ezekiel Dugu. And that was the last man. That was the last man. Let's see, interesting scenes here.
Okech connects with Dugu on a long ball, and Fortune's last defender, in what should have been a red card, takes him down with a high kick to the chest, and we are given a free kick from just outside the box. The entire crowd rises in anticipation as Ochieng and Okech stand over the ball, arranging the set piece.
The new tactics. It is gonna be Austin or Marvin. Let's wait and see. It is Austin, and it is a goal! Gideon Etiang nods that home to give Kahawa Pride the opening goal of the game. It was a well-taken free kick by Austin that was parried away by Omondi Onyango, and it's pomp and color at Mahiga Primary, the opening game. They've been longing for these moments. It is 1-0.
Kahawa Pride 1, Fortune Kinderen 0. Ochieng sent a rocket through the wall. The keeper gives up a rebound, and by the time he recovers, it's too late. Etyang heads it into the net, and we go up by 1 in the 49th minute. The following minute, Dugu goes down untouched after putting his body on the line to set up our goal. He no longer can continue and calls for a sub, so Kim brings in Louis Mwaniki to replace him. In the 52nd minute, Fortune are back on the attack, and they get their first chance of the half.
A new manager bounce has happened in the FKF Premier League. And just like that, it is 1-1 from a tight angle. Pascal Otieno has squeezed that in. There was little danger.
Fortune sends a beautiful throw into the box. We fail to mark a man, and just like that, they blast one in to tie the match. Play continues, and Waniki comes off the bench absolutely buzzing, clearly showing his fresh legs and speed, but in the 57th minute, disaster strikes.
Looking at it, the lads really have to be aware of the shots powered by Fortune Kinderen, that they're coming from outside the box, and there is one on the ground.
Yeah, so it is Moses Bwire on the ground.
I'm not sure what happened. The stream camera did not catch it, but Moses Bwire goes down, and it's not looking good. He is able to walk off under his own power, and while the crowd thought that this would be an end to the Moses show, he takes a quick breather on the sideline, and then he comes right back in. Meanwhile, Captain Robert Manura subs on for Marvin Okech, taking his usual center mid role, which pushes Ochieng back to the defensive midfield to fill Okech's spot. In the 60th minute, Manura connects with Etyang in the corner, who is immediately closed in on by a defender on the left in the mud pit on his right. but he manages to get a dangerous cross into the box, nearly headed in by Moniki. Just 45 seconds later, Govid wins the ball, but gets called for a foul. He can't believe it and crashes out, resulting in a yellow card, the first card of the match. Then, 4 minutes later, the ref misses another call, this time giving the ball back to Fortune after they clearly kicked it out of bounds. Kim can't believe it, he crashes out, and now he picks up a yellow, and the game is breaking wide open at this point. Fortune sends their free kick into the box. It is dangerous, but Karani is able to scoop it up before anyone gets a clean shot off, and he quickly distributes it to Etyang. In the 68th, again, we are threatening, this time earning a corner kick, which Etyang sends into the box. Otieno gets a head on it, but it goes wide, and we remain tied. Now, tensions are beginning to flare as Kamau is nearly thrown into the brick wall in a dangerously unsportsmanlike play from a Fortune defenseman. The crowd can't believe it, but the ref didn't see a thing, and play continues, no foul called. 5 minutes later, we're back with another Etyang corner kick, doing anything we can to take the lead.
He has done that because Dugu could play as an isolated striker.
And almost a second goal there, Bwire.
The ball ricochets in the box. Bwire gets a weak-footed shot off, but he can't quite get enough power on it, and the keeper makes a clutch goal line save. More time goes by, and as the 80th minute approaches, neither team is looking to settle for a draw. In the 79th minute, Coach Kim makes another sub, sending Gototo on for Kamau, and moments later, Fortune nearly go ahead off of this hard pass that managed to break through our back line, but their striker is unable to finish. Then, in the 86th minute, we get our best chance of the half.
We'll try float that into the area, and it is in the north. Whoa! You can't be as unlucky as that.
Ngete sends a header just off the inside of the right post, inches away from taking the lead. He can't believe it didn't go in. The crowd can't believe it, but the score remains tied at 1. The next 10 minutes are chaos as both teams fight desperately to take the lead. But in the 95th minute, deep into stoppage time, we finally get a clear chance.
But well read there by Glenn Ngete. Brian Masharia is clear. Brian Masharia. He's
Monora sends a bomb to Masharia, who had subbed on for Kamau in the 78th minute. He gets taken down inside the box, and as we anxiously waited for a penalty whistle, it never came. Gototo chases down the loose ball afterwards, but the mud strikes. Then the defender pulls him down by his shirt, and that would put an end to the match. The final whistle blows. Kahawa Pride 1, Fortune Kinderen 1.
Of course, we are at home, so we expected to win and put a good match, but the boys did their best and we got 1 point.
The boys showed a lot of drive, a lot of hunger. I think we've been lacking that in the last 3 games. We needed that kind of aggression, so it's a kind of a start. I hope we'll be able to pick up from there in the next games.
It was a very good game and a competitive one. We enjoyed it. It was a bounce back, and we are showing that we can.
As a team, we did pretty well. Coming from 3 losses in a row, we managed to get 1 point, and we thank God for that. But in the bottom of our hearts, we truly needed a win. But on that day, I think the 1 point was really good enough.
It wasn't an easy match. It was a tough match, but we managed to come up with a draw despite we wanted a win, and we thank God for the results.
The game was really tough. We are playing a second position team. We tried our best and we got the 1 point.
The draw puts us back at 15th on the table with 4 wins, 2 draws, and 3 losses, with 2 additional inherited losses and a negative 6-point penalty that is still going through an appeal process to be removed. Our next match will be this Sunday, March 29th at 4 p.m. East African time. That is 1 p.m. in London and 9 a.m. in New York. We're up against Santos Hotspurs FC. We will be back at home at Mahiga Primary and live right here on the JerseyBird YouTube channel. But before I close out the video, I have 3 more major headlines to cover. The first one is a new investment into mental health and training, which is being led by Melissa Dillon, a performance psychologist from Birmingham, England. Melissa has worked with several high-level clubs in the UK, from Bristol Rovers to Salford City to Birmingham City, ensuring that their players and staff are not only just in top physical shape, but also in top mental shape on match days. And in May, she will be moving to Nairobi full-time to join us as Kahawa Pride's official performance psychologist. I sat down with Melissa to learn more about what she would be bringing to the club and to share her vision with our fan base, as she has already begun working with staff and players remotely last week. So can you introduce yourself, tell us who you are and what do you do?
Yeah, so I'm a performance psychologist. I help elite athletes as well as individuals in business as well. So high performers to achieve and maximize their performance by helping them develop their confidence, working with resilience, focus, anxiety, like those are kind of key psychological themes, emotional regulation, all to enhance their performance. But also the key thing is help them to develop personally as well. You know, when people look at psychology, sports psychology, they all ultimately think it's like literally helping them in sports, but there is so much more substance to it, because I'm a massive believer in personal development. The personal development is the core of that person. Helping them to become more confident, more resilient, more optimistic is what's going to help them in their sport and anything else in their life.
In the past, what are some of the organizations or types of athletes that you've worked with?
Yeah, so my career basically started in football, which is soccer for you, working at a couple of football clubs like Warsaw Football Club, West Brom Football Club, and Bristol Rovers. But I also have a very strong academic background. I grew up playing tennis, competitive tennis at a very young age, which then led me to also work with youth tennis players that were regional level. I have worked in a variety of different sports, but tennis and football were literally my kind of first two sports that I started off with. And then I merged into like clubs like Birmingham City Football Club, so working on the ladies side, and then the girls academy, working with the boys academy as well in different clubs like Salford, and then private clients that I get from academies like Aston Villa and Wolves. So yes, football and then tennis of course has been a big part of my journey as a player, but also working on the WTA tour with players and ITF players. So those are my two biggest sports, but that does not say I've not worked with other sports. Golf, karate, swimming, a lot of racket sports like squash, badminton. Yeah, I mean, I can make a list of sports, but yeah, that's been there. And then on the other side, I've also stepped into the business world, so I've been able to work with like senior teams and employees, where there's a department of employees, for example, in finance, healthcare, work with the US veterans. So yeah, a broad range of individuals too.
Awesome. How did you come across our club? How did you discover Kahawa Pride?
Well, actually, it was all to do with my vision, really, because I'm obviously moving there at the end of May. So from personal matters and professionally as well. But I've been to Nairobi about a year and a half ago. I did a keynote speaking event at the African Football Summit. So I had connections from there that I've built for about a year and a half that I've kept staying in touch with them. And then one of my connections gave me her connection. Then she put me through to yourselves, really, and she's you're one of her clients. So that's how it came about, really, and in line with my vision too.
Why do you think our players could benefit from working with you?
Okay, so one of the biggest things that I've noticed across the African nation in terms of sport, and obviously football being one of the biggest ones, a lot is focused on the physical aspects. Very little is focused on the mental strength and the mental fitness. And it's a massive gap for the development of those players. One of the key themes I've already started to look into is lack of preparation, lack of resilience when they're losing, and understanding how to develop their mindset to become robust and strong when pressure hits. And that's a gap there's a gap there that lacks education and understanding. And what I've also seen is a lot of traditional ways of thinking this is what's going to work to make individuals mentally strong. That tends to be like a lot of shouting and a lot of this is sort of a punishment kind of way, but very little is about understanding individuals and understanding what it actually takes to get there. And I think that needs to be educated. So yeah, that's the biggest reason.
So yes, as you stated, you will be coming to Nairobi. Once you're here on the ground, what do you see the, week to week activities being like for you and the club?
Yeah, so it will be a lot of involvement working with players, group-wise, individual-wise, myself being around the training club and matches and building rapport is so important for me. I think that's what I'm most excited about, is that connection and that rapport building with players, teams and staff. And also being the person that they feel that they can be very open with. I think that's a big part of a culture, creating psychological safety. So that's where I'm really looking forward to that part of the aspect of it, because I feel like that could be a difficult side of things when it comes to football clubs, the lack of psychological safety. So yeah, there'll be a lot of observation, working one-to-ones with players and coaches, workshops.
Okay, my last question. What excites you most about this project and working with our club?
I think building relationships. I love to build meaningful relationships, so I'm really excited for that. I'm excited for like the development side of things, how much this is going to make a difference to them and how much impact it's going to make. That's my biggest purpose, and I am really excited to see where they are right now and what could happen with adding this in the team, and then seeing the outcome and the reactions of not just the players, coaches, but like the fan base as well.
Our second headline from last week is a scouting trip led by Matthias Olander, our CEO, and our head of scouting, Francis Rekwaro. They headed to Kakuma refugee camp, one of the largest refugee camps in all of Africa, with a population of 300,000, primarily refugees fleeing conflict in South Sudan and Somalia. The camp has its own football league and an incredible amount of raw talent, with players like Our Mabil, who is currently on Australia's national team squad, Thomas Dang, who reached Australia's top flight with the Melbourne Victory, and Handwala Bwana, who won the MLS Cup with the Seattle Sounders in 2019. All of these players grew up at this camp and went on to accomplish incredible things in their careers. The players have their own unofficial league, they train and play weekly, and almost no one scouts here, because if you sign one of these players, you'll also have to provide housing and other support that is typically not provided outside of maybe a few top-level clubs. However, now that we have our own facilities in place, it makes it a viable scouting location, and that is why we are actively looking for talent here. I will have a full video on Friday covering this entire story. It really is incredible and way too much information to cover in this video. And last but not least, the Lionesses got their first player of the match experience after their dominant 7-1 win over RDU last week. Shout out to Mawimbi Seafood Restaurant in downtown Nairobi for hosting us the best seafood in the city, as you can clearly see right here. And it was a great experience for the players to get into the city for an awesome meal. And if you remember that small space across the street from our clubhouse, the same area where we rescued Simba, it's always had a problem with being a dumping ground for random trash. So with the help of Musioka, our old team manager, who also runs a construction company called Siax Tech Enterprises, we turned it into our very own parking garage. Construction is still underway, but here's how it's gone so far. That's all I have for this episode. It was a longer one, so if you made it to the end, thank you for watching and supporting. Again, our next stream will be this Sunday at 4 p.m. East African time. That is 1 p.m. in London, 9 a.m. in New York. As always, you can catch new episodes of Road to the Kenyan Premier League every Wednesday and Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. If you like the show, drop a like, drop a sub, comment where you're watching from. Thank you for the incredible amount of support from all around the world, and I'll see you in the next one.